Hey guys, and welcome to another amazing video. My name is Max, and today we're going to be doing an interview with my good friend Martin Vítek.
Hey guys!
Hey guys, I'm Max. The same location. Thank you.
Processes versus what they want, and eventually you win. Yeah!
Hey Max.
Whoa. Hey. So, today I'm here with Martin, my good friend and the co-founder of Fundchaser, which is a company that helps startups with crowdfunding. Soutěž a Podnikej, which is a Czech competition for high school students to help them create a startup, and the special Czech fund for entrepreneurship and education, which is really cool. So, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Martin Vítek, I come from Zlín, I was born there, raised there, and I went to high school there, grade school. During my high school I went to the United States for a year. I studied in Appleton, Wisconsin. And after a year there at Foxville Lutheran High School, which was Lutheran High School, I came back and I finished my high school student career in Zlín. And after that I decided I wanted to do business. Therefore my dad told me that I should go study abroad, since there is longer history of business entrepreneurship abroad than in Czech Republic. And so I sent an email to Fulbright. I asked them a few questions. They sent me a list of colleges that give big scholarships, and I got to one in Chicago. It's called DePaul University. I got a little scholarship there, and I was there for 3.5 years. And that's pretty much it.
Cool, so lots of education, right?
Lots of education, but I would say more on the education side. In the theory, it wasn't too much, because since I got to Chicago, my father had bunch of tasks for me. So I studied school, but I also had to do the little business side things on my own. Step by step, I learned how to buy property in Chicago, how to find an accountant, how to find a lawyer. I was the guy that had to go to these meetings because my father was living in Czech Republic. So step by step I learned all these things. I got to network a little bit. That was my life.
Cool. So you got into the business side of things through the family business, basically.
Basically, the family business was that I needed a place to live since I was in Chicago, and as a international student, and my father, my family wasn't there, so they have no credit score or anything. It would be super hard for me to find a rent. So therefore, my father did this investment. I had to arrange this investment for me to have a place to live, and also to make money to cover this initial cost. So I had to rent it out as well. And then I did little side things, like I worked in an empanada store where I baked empanadas, or I was reselling sport jerseys for NHL teams, NBA teams, NFL teams, all kind of teams. And and then I started Fundchaser afterwards.
After trying all these things in the United States, so doing baking and selling t-shirts, how did you get into starting the Kickstarter? Well, the company that helps startups with crowdfunding and Kickstarter.
Gotcha. So one time I was flying back to school, and I bought this Forbes magazine, the Czech version. And in this Czech version, it was written that some project got funded, but it was super difficult. They had to find all these people and figure out how to wire the money back from the United States to Czech Republic, and it was super big of a pain. So I tried. I thought to myself that if this is such a big pain, then more people perhaps want to go to Kickstarter and want to help with this thing. So I figured it out. I went to lawyers, accountants, and I set up the system. Actually makes it quite easy for Czech and Slovak or anybody else that wants to go to US Kickstarter. So they can now, and they can raise the money and wire the money back. And around that we built a company that helps not only with getting you there, but also consulting the crowdfunding, how that works, helping with the marketing of the campaign, helping with the fulfillment of the campaign, and so on. Yep.
Cool. You basically identified the hole in the market and filled it by Fundchaser. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So like you said, like I identified a hole without knowing I was identifying a hole. I thought just like if for somebody it's difficult, let's try to make it easy. That's how I thought about it, and that's we did a first campaign for my friend from Zlín.
Yes.
He's this like painter that currently has a studio in Olomouc, and he just tried to like make his mark. So we did a campaign for him. We got him to Chicago. He did two shows there, 2 or 3 shows within the Czech community, and it was great first stepping stone for him. He made his mark, and then he opened his studio with his father in Olomouc. So it was the start of his career, pretty much.
Cool. So that was like your first client, you could say.
Yeah, we did it for him for free because he was a friend, and we had a bunch of things to learn ourselves. But yeah, our first client, our first success story.
So friends, fools, and a family works in your case as well. Cool.
I think it works for everybody.
And if you could name some of your biggest clients or the highlights of your career with Fundchaser?
I think we did more than 20 campaigns, but the ones that were like the most fun with or like most interesting aren't the ones that like raise the most money, but mostly it's about the people, right? So what I will always remember is like the campaign of vocabulary maps because Tomáš Pitnář, who like started it, has a big story now, and he was like super working hard on it, so it was really interesting. It wasn't easy all the time, but it was very interesting, and if I look back at it, it was interesting time, interesting work. Then I have some interesting product. It was like Bohempia. They had like vegan sneakers, which I never heard about. I never knew it could be a vegan sneakers. In the end, it could be vegan anything. What else we did? We participated on the Skinner's campaign a little bit.
And I saw that they raised like 60 times more money than what they asked for, right?
Yeah, they asked for $10,000, I think, and then in the end they raised 600,000, 650,000 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. And yeah, we were in charge mostly, just handling the money, just getting them there, and then wiring the money back, and make sure that everything is alright. So that was our task in that campaign. And now they are on the Indiegogo. They raised over 2 million, I think, now, or something like that.
Cool.
So good for them. They go strong. And what else we did? We did recently, I think a week ago, we finished a campaign for Stucky, which is like some innovational skis that are short. They give you better balance if you are skiing. They raised about $40,000. And yeah, today we are just launching another campaign as well. So it's happening something new every day.
Working.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's great.
Never stop.
And do you identify like a startup that basically has the potential from the very first meeting, or how do you identify like your client? Do you take everybody? What's the process?
So for the first consultation, usually everybody wants to go to crowdfunding. So usually our first consultation is like free, so we have a coffee with the person and we talk to them about like why they want to go to Kickstarter. If not, perhaps HitHit is better, perhaps not doing crowdfunding campaign at all is better for them. You never know. So that's our first meeting. We talk to them. We try to figure out if their product or service, usually product, is even good for Kickstarter. Not everything is suitable for it.
So, what is a good product for Kickstarter?
Anything that is shipped easy, that is at least a bit of unique, and anything that there are low custom fees on it. If you import it to the United States, which is like 80%, 85% of the market, you have to make sure that you are not going to pay, $1 jillion on customs. So that could be a real deal breaker for you, as you could bankrupt your company before it even starts, and also make sure that it ships easy.
So if you're starting a crowdfunding campaign, check that list.
And also check the Kickstarter project groups if you are even, if you can fit in one of those categories.
So like the groups on the Kickstarter page, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And how strict is it to get on Kickstarter with your startup?
Okay, so first of all, you have to be from one of those desired countries, and you have to prove it with a social security number. For example, in the States, you have to have their, U.S. bank account. They might ask you for your U.S. driving license and so on.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the conditions. Second
So
condition.
you have to be from the United States?
Oh, you don't have to be from the United States, but you can be from Canada, I think, Australia, Japan, Germany, Sweden, all the Scandinavian countries, Britain, of course. So I always say, like, if you are west of Czech Republic, or north of Austria, or south of Czech Republic, you are pretty much good. You could go in there. But if you are from the former Eastern Bloc, it's not for you. It's closed for you as a creator. But you can always back the campaign. You can always, pre-order Kickstarter.
And there are ways around it, probably, right?
That's what we figured out.
Great. So when talking about investment in your startup, when do you think Kickstarter is the right path to go for it? Or okay, let's back it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are the types of investment you can do for a startup in the beginning?
Well, you can always ask an investor. Try to reach them out.
So angel investors?
Angel investors, yeah. Then you can try to figure out if bank is gonna give you a loan, but there is a slim chance because you have no history in the beginning. You can go on a thing such as Zonke and try to persuade people if they're gonna get you money.
Uh-huh.
But if you have no history and you have some product that is easily packaged, or you can build a community around it, then I would say crowdfunding is for you.
Uh-huh.
But it also depends what you support. If it's a local product, let's say a theater play, I don't know, if you're gonna start on a theater, you have a music CD, you have something that's special for the location, try to go to a local crowdfunding platform.
Yeah.
But you have something that could be easily translatable to, and anybody can use, they don't have to come overseas to actually use it. Then you could use one of those mainstream giant crowdfunding platforms such as Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
Cool. So when thinking about crowdfunding, don't focus just on the big huge brands like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Try to find the local ones.
Yeah, try to find if local is not better for you. Perhaps you can just go to a local one, build your first local community, build some cash, and then from that first good reviews, you can build on it and go to a global market afterwards. Like Kickstarter or any crowdfunding, it's not usually about making big money. It's about building community, getting your product to the market, and actually making a huge validation for your product. And with
Super
that,
important.
And with that, you can actually go to investor afterwards.
So this might be as the investors would call it, the seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
The crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And then for the huge development, you could go to a big investor and use the crowdfunding campaign and the results as.
Yeah, you can actually say you have
validation.
15,000 clients now, right? 15,000 or 500 customers. Or it's better than nothing, and it's actually customers that actually gave you feedback on your product.
That's great. Cool. So, when doing a crowdfunding campaign, can you list the main aspects the startup should have, or the main things that should be included in the campaign?
Sure. So first thing is always marketing, right? So they have to do a really thought out pre-campaign, set up their tonalities, set up their voice, how they're going to communicate with their clients. Who are their clients? Even figuring that out is important.
Mm-hmm.
After this pre-campaign, where they collect leads and engage the community, they can start a campaign, right? In the campaign, they should have the video, they should have rewards, they should have the copy, graphics, GIFs, pictures, photos, anything that shows the product.
Mm-hmm.
Show don't tell, as it's the rule. And afterwards, have a well thought out, well counted out the fulfillment. How much is the shipping going to be? Most of the campaigns, if they raise money, that's why they are late with delivery, or that's why they fail. Throughout the time, is because the shipping is more costly, more expensive than they thought in the beginning. So that could actually, destroy your company or destroy your, project and the good reputation you built during the project.
So, what are the biggest mistakes that startups make when doing the crowdfunding?
Okay, so they want to start immediately. So they don't give enough time for the lead collection for the pre-campaign. Second
you need to create a campaign before launching the
pretty
campaign.
much.
on
You
Kickstarter.
do exactly. You have to have certain amount of people that you know are gonna buy the product
Yeah.
once it hits the market. You know. Second thing is they have too many rewards. Like they are like, let's say they do shoes, but now they are starting to offering T-shirts, hats, everything. So they confuse the customer. They out of nowhere, like they don't know what they are actually buying. They are, in the video they are talking about shoes, but then they're selling T-shirts. So what was the deal? And for the third thing is they don't have it calculated right, or they like overestimate their ability, or they never talk to a factory that actually creates these. So then they run late with their like delivering of the promised perks, promised rewards, and perhaps they actually can go bust, since that could be more expensive than they thought.
So basically, being prepared before launching the campaign, right? Not underestimating the price, and being consistent with one product, not trying to offer too many options.
Exactly.
Before.
You could offer add-ons through the campaign. Let's say the shoes are $20, and add-on special shoelaces are like extra $5. So
Yeah.
that makes sense, But offering shoes and an extra like $10 T-shirt doesn't make sense, because it doesn't go with the shoes pretty much.
Yeah, cool. And in your actually story, what were your biggest mistakes when launching the Fundchaser?
Okay, so my biggest mistakes. At first, I didn't know what I was doing. So I would say I wanted to be too cheap. So like, because I was a student, so like even 10,000 crowns were super big money for me. So I was too
That's
cheap.
like
$500.
yeah.
$500, 500 euros. It was like too much money for me. So I was like, okay, that's gonna be my price. But in the end, I figured out that's not how I could make a living. So it was my first mistake, to underestimate the price or the value of it.
Yeah.
Then I had to learn everything. So in the beginning, I'm sure I did a bunch of mistakes, how to like set up the website. But right now we are setting up like fifth version of the website, since none of us is coder or like programmer. Out of the co-founders, so we are always learning how to do new things. And I think that's the life of entrepreneurship. It's constant struggle and challenges, but if you overcome them, it's fun and it's interesting. You can meet interesting people. So I'm sure everybody goes through these mistakes, and they come through it stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Cool. So you co-founded Fundchaser, right? It wasn't like all just yours.
No. I came up with the idea, and then I talked with my buddy David, and he liked the idea, so we started together.
So, there is often this talk that you shouldn't start companies with your best friends, right?
Yeah. Well, we
So
have.
what do you think about that?
Well, I'm sure it's there is a bunch of evidence that it's true.
Yeah.
And I would say that's not our case, because we are like best friends. We hang out together when we are little kids. Then we went to the same high school, but he's like 3 years older, so he always we never hang out actually, because I was a little kid, he was already older. And then he got out. We haven't talked to each other for a long time, and then we met after college years, So we are super close buddies. We are friends, and then as a friends we started this company.
Okay. Cool. So not like best friends, but more as.
Good friends that our family knew each other since we were little kids,
Okay. So not acquaintances, but.
Yeah, like friends. Yeah,
Interesting.
like me and you.
Well, not as we were a kid. But
Yeah.
maybe I am a kid, sort of.
No. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Cool. And moving from your family business to this, was it hard?
Not really. I'm still doing the family business. I still take care of the properties, long-term rent, short-term rent. That's just part of it. I always try to help out and grow the family business. And on the side, that's what I'm doing on the side. My main business is now the crowdfunding and Soutěž and Podnikej.
Oh. And would you have any advice for the startups that think about doing crowdfunding or just are starting out, for the potential viewers that might be starting their first business?
So always, everybody has great ideas and everybody thinks their idea is the best. But make sure you go out and actually ask people what they think about it, and don't ask the questions like, do you think my idea is the best, or would you use this thing to solve this problem? Just go out and find out if that problem actually exists, and then try to validate if there is no better solution than your idea for the problem you find out that exists. As one thing, always validate. And second thing is, be bold, be brave, and don't be scared of problems that come out. That's about it. And for crowdfunding, figure out those things that I said. If it even makes sense to use that tool for your particular scenario.
Great. You heard it. Well, Martin, thank you so much for this great interview. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Max.
And in the next video, we'll be talking about the second business he's running, which is sort of an NGO, right?
Yeah, it's NGO.
Yeah, Soutěž Podnikej. So be sure to check that out really soon.
Peace.